Hi, fourth grade writers. I apologize for the internet interruptions today, but it was really important to me that we are able to still keep on track and be those phenomenal writers that I know we are. So I wanted to record this quick little mini lesson to help you understand what we'll be working on over the next few weeks. So my first invitation to you is to go ahead, and if you are using your paper copy, you certainly may, but follow along with me as I utilize our Google Classroom personal narrative writing workbook. I'm going to go ahead and open up this assignment in Google Slides. If you haven't already, you're going to want to make sure that you have your name at the very, very top because this is your writer's notebook and it's super important. The second thing is, I wanted to introduce you to personal narrative writing. Personal narrative writing is really awesome. And it's awesome because it is a non-fiction story, or a true story, in which you are the main character. For the next couple of months, we're going to be writing a personal narrative story. And I wanted to start our unit by reading an example of a personal narrative story. I'm going to move to slide number 3, in which my title is Lost. What is a personal narrative? Although I've already assigned for you to have read this on your own, I would like to read it out loud. I think that it's really important for us to practice those skills of reading out loud and understanding the text that we're reading. So let's focus on what is a personal narrative. My mom and I were finally on our way to visit my cousins at a beach house in California. I had been waiting for this trip for what seemed like years. We arrived at the airport with plenty of time to spare. My mom wouldn't have it any other way. And we got through the security lines without any major issues. We lined up at the coffee shop in the airport to get some breakfast and some much-needed coffee for my mom. But the line was taking forever. "Mom, I need to go to the bathroom," I said. I could tell by the look on her face that she didn't want to lose her place in line for her precious coffee to take me. She glanced behind us toward the clearly marked bathroom signs. "Go ahead," she said. "The bathroom is right there, and you're old enough to go by yourself. I'm sure that I'll still be in line by the time you're done." Feeling very grown up, I nodded and walked toward the bathroom. When I was finished, I came out of the doors and looked around. There was a Mexican restaurant and a newsstand in front of me, but no coffee shop. I felt like someone was playing a trick on me. I looked right, left, and right again, hoping that something would start to look familiar, but it didn't. I walked to the left, hoping that it would start to make sense. Panic set in as I turned around and walked to the right, searching the crowds. I tried to remember what Mom had said about getting lost. I had tuned her out, but I think she said something about staying in one place. Or maybe I was supposed to find someone who worked at the airport and ask for help. I decided to head back to the bathroom and wait. I realized that she was probably looking for me too. How would she find me? All of the panicking made me feel like I had to go to the bathroom again, so I headed back in. That's when I saw that there were 2 entrances to the bathrooms on opposite sides. I sprinted out the other doors, and there was my mom. She was waiting and tapping her feet with an anxious look on her face. "Mom!" I yelled. I ran and gave her a hug, which she could only partly return with her hands filled with a bag of food and a cup of coffee. I explained what had happened and added, "Why would they make 2 entrances to the same bathroom? That's just setting me up for failure." Mom laughed. She put the hand holding her coffee cup to her chest and took a deep breath. Finally calming down from the excitement and then taking a sip. "Let's go find our gate," she said. In this story, we hear lots of different things. Most importantly, what I think is important for us to recognize as writers is that, 1, this story is a story that actually took place. Who is the author writing about in this story? Herself. Great job. She writes about herself using these things called pronouns. I want to go ahead and I want to circle what one of these pronouns is. So I want to share with you that a pronoun is a small noun that actually helps us to use to tell a story. In this example, I is considered a pronoun. Another example of a pronoun is our. These are nouns that are describing the who in the story. If we continue on, we would notice that there's a time where she talks about her mom, and she uses the pronoun she to refer to her mom. For example, "Mom, I need to go to the bathroom," I said. I could tell by the look on her face that she didn't want to lose her place in line. She and her are pronouns that are talking about mom. So I want us to make sure that when we're telling our stories, we're utilizing or using these pronouns. Now let's back up for just a quick moment. Let's come here and fill in this personal narrative anchor chart. We want to make sure that we recognize what is a personal narrative. A personal narrative is when you are the main character in this true story. Some of you, as we brainstormed, had some great ideas. Then and you were sharing with us stories about times that have happened to you. I used an example that said, a story about a time I went to the beach with my best friend. Another true story might be a story about the time I forgot to do my homework. What about a story about the time I picked up my puppy for the first time? All of these are examples of true stories about me. So I would invite you, if you have not completed this, I would like for you to do so. Lastly, I had asked that students would make an anchor chart. I want to show you how to go ahead and make that anchor chart. So on this blank slide, I want to go ahead and explain to you what I was looking for. Most importantly, we're making this anchor chart on a clean page in our writer's notebook, our physical writer's notebook. Then what we're going to do is we're going to brainstorm some more ideas of different stories. So in here, it would read personal narrative story ideas. Now, it's important that as authors, we make sure that we brainstorm lots of different ideas, because if we keep writing about the same thing all the time, it could become a little boring. So let's go ahead and brainstorm at least 5 ideas. In watching you writers, I was able to see how many of you were able to come up with ideas relatively quickly. That means that you are an excellent writer that has a story to be told. So in your writer's notebook, I was looking for something that looked like this. This will help you as you write personal narratives all about you. Now, if you have more than one idea, go ahead and keep writing. If you have more than 3 ideas, go ahead and keep writing. If you have more than 5 ideas, keep going. I don't want you to ever stop writing. This graphic organizer should be written in your physical writer's notebook. And it could look something like this. If you have any questions, please come back and see me during office hours from 1 to 3 p.m. Great job today, writers.